Hey guys, welcome to the video. My mic might sound a bit different because I've moved to a new setup and I don't have a mic on. Hopefully it's tankable, but let me know if it's annoying and I'll find some way to fix it for next time. Today, we're doing an educational style video on how I like to play Cho'Gath. I've been mixing educational videos with purely entertainment ones recently, and if you have feedback, what you like, dislike, etc., please let me know because I'm trying to make the best content I can. Other than that, the support recently has been great, so thank you so much for that. I read all of your comments and it really motivates me to make the best content I can. Anyway, the gameplay started, so let's get on with it. Today, we've got the Cho'Gath versus Sylas matchup. I know Sylas is not a common matchup in top lane, but I think it's a cool game to show because Sylas is actually one of the hardest counters to Cho in the entire game. He's got really good burst, sustained damage, 2 dashes to dodge your Q, can steal your ult to get super tanky while building full AP, and just overall is pretty horrible to play against. I even ban it if I know 100% I want to play Cho'Gath because it's just so commonly picked right now. As well as that, this Sylas is Syncux, who's an ex-LEC player and still a pro. The point is, he's not a noob, he's a challenger player, so if I can survive this lane and still scale good in the matchup, you can do it against Timmy top lane and whatever elo you're playing in. I'll flash the runes and full build on the screen real quick, but let's talk about the game. So, Sylas needs level 3 to be able to trade properly, so just hitting the wave level 1 and threatening grass procs guaranteed the early prio. Building 3 waves and crashing is always a good option as it starts to slow push back towards you. Here is my first big decision to make. I can recall safely and lose nothing, or I can keep laning. The reason I decided to stay here is because my jungle is pathing up to me, and I think Sylas is vulnerable to a gank with his wave pushing out. There's by no means a guaranteed kill here, but climbing in League is about creating as many opportunities as possible, where if any of them work, you're in a good position, but if one doesn't work, you're still fine. As Graves gets into position, I throw Q and step backwards. If my Q hits, Sylas is super slowed and we can chase him down. If my Q misses, it looks like I'm in a vulnerable position and trying to run away. There's a high chance that he'll instinctively try and trade back during this timing. I cannot stress enough the importance of the famous Sun Tzu quote, "Appear weak when you're strong." Most kills in League happen from the enemy underestimating you, and that's what you want to play into. At this point, I'm in a very Cho'Gath specific position. I have gold, and most champions would base here. But think about it. Sylas has to use TP here to get back to lane, or he'll lose too many minions of golden XP. That means he won't be able to get an easy base of TP for the next 6 minutes. Mine is still up though, so I can anytime. With this logic, if Sylas takes any trade now, I can screw him completely, because he'll lose health and mana, and then I'll just teleport back with better items and full resources. I'd never let him get a base off without losing multiple plates and waves. If I wasn't playing in low elo, this would work commonly, but like I said, Sylas is a good player and doesn't let me. I crash a big wave and ult a minion. Always ult before you base on Cho'Gath. You need to start stacking as soon as possible, and just resetting and walking back to lane is like 30 seconds off the cooldown. Because the wave crashed smoothly, I don't even need to TP. Versus AD healing champs, I'd take Bramble, but versus like Sylas or Gwen, I think Oblivion Orb early game is pretty good. Bear in mind, I will sell it late game though. Since I have item advantage now, my number 1 goal is don't let Sylas have a base. If he gets even items with me, he can start winning the matchup. But right now, I have better items, so I'm stronger even though I'm counterpicked. The best way to prevent him getting a base is to keep him pushed in. He'll lose too many minions if he bases, so his only option is to collect farm under his turret. I take a mini detour to ult a Grob and then see enemy Jarvan diving bot lane. This lets me play super aggressive and take a demolish proc in front of his face as well as proxying a wave. Proxying in this scenario is super OP because it hard traps the enemy top under their turret or they'll lose a full wave of minions. And this is basically how I want to play the whole lane. I'm going to base now and TP back, and I'll permanently maintain item advantage, which allows me to keep pushing, getting 10 CS per minute, while stacking my ult on cooldown and threatening plates, all while in a bad matchup. This gameplay style is essentially trying to avoid any laning that involves being on an even playing ground. I can't kill him like this, but he also has no choice but to just farm. And when you're in a bad matchup playing a scaling champ, that's more than good enough. Eventually, as second grub spawn, the enemy jungle finally decides what's happening top lane is unacceptable. But with level 9 and 4 ult stacks already, it's pretty much impossible for me to die. Having a plan early game on Cho is the most important part of the game, because if you succeed, you just become unkillable while doing infinite damage. Anyway, I smell blood and try to outplay 2v1, but honestly, this is pure greed from me, and really bad to waste splash like that. Regardless, it's still fine. I just need to be more careful until it's up again. Sylas TPs, but since I crashed the wave, I can just base and walk back and lose nothing. After this, it's the same deal as before. Until plates go down at 14 and I have max stacks in my ult, I just want to push him in non-stop every single wave while getting bigger and bigger. Each wave of minions chips at the turret without me even hitting it, and eventually I can just walk up and take it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Pushing in League of Legends is so broken. Obviously, there's situations to freeze, you've got to be aware of the enemy jungle, you need to maintain good vision. But with all of these in mind, if you can pick a good scaling champ and perma-push all lane, you'll be so strong come mid-game. Alright, so we've had a good early game, we're strong. Now what? How do we actually win the game? Well, it's time to realize that winning in this game revolves around objectives. You either want to take the objective yourself, if you're strong enough, or cross-map to get something in the opposite side of the map if you're not. Cross-mapping is the most simple way to come back when your team is losing, and I can make a whole video on just that topic. So if you're interested in that, then comment below. Fortunately, in this game, I'm super strong and I just want to fight the objectives myself. As long as I have ult up. I need my ult to either secure the objective, or if there's a fight, it's a huge part of my power budget. When I'm not directly taking in an objective, all I'm doing is pushing out waves. This process gets interrupted when a fight happens. You have to make a choice. Do I join the fight or do I keep pushing? You only have seconds to make the decision, and a lot of it is practice and feeling. Here are some questions to ask yourself to maybe make the decision easier. 1. Can I get there in time? Having teleport up or not affects this significantly. If you can't get there in time, do not join. Hit a turret, take a wave, take a camp, anything. Next, can we win the fight? Any fight can be game winning or game losing. Sometimes the enemy top won't have TP, but you will, and a 5v4 flank can completely turn a game. Sometimes a good flank can mean more than a 10k gold lead. Sometimes the enemy is just stronger, and nothing you do will win you the fight. Lastly, what can I get if I don't join the fight? For example, if the enemy top TPs away and you can take a tier 2 turret, that's 700 gold, potentially for free. That guaranteed gold might be more valuable than winning the team fight. Obviously, it's super hard to answer all of these questions in a split second. That's why you should be thinking about them and weighing up potential options during downtime, so you're ready to pull the trigger instantly when it comes to it. Anyway, back to this game specifically. I'm side lane, catching waves as normal, until I see a team fight happening mid lane. I'm nearby, and I can't take the tier 2, so I have a good opportunity to flank here. We win the fight, but we recognize that we're not strong enough to do Baron, and that's completely fine. Quick decision making is the heart of the game, and it's okay to err on the side of caution as long as you're decisive about it. As Dragon is 30 seconds in spawning, 2 of my teammates get picked. I could take the tier 2 turret easily here, but I recognize that I'm strong enough to stop the enemy doing Baron, which is more worth. It's important that if I didn't think we could stop Baron, I'd 100% continue pushing bot here. You really have to have the foresight about the options you have in a situation, because it makes it way easier to pick between them when the time comes. Anyway, after hanging about mid, we think they aren't doing Baron and take the Infernal Drake, but the enemies actually snuck it. It's a really nice play by them, and if they get to use this Baron properly, they're ahead in the game now. Instead of de-pushing waves, we decide to chase them here, because if we kill any of them, it staggers their Baron and neutralizes it significantly. The main goal in your mind, when enemy team has Baron buff, should always be, how can I concede as little as possible while they have the buff? We managed to take the tier 2 and get out, and it's basically the same story as earlier. Until Dragon spawns, go side, push it in, move for fights or objectives. Constantly getting minion waves ensures you're high level, because trust me, in most elos, people at this point in the game are constantly sharing mid-wave XP or just straight up doing nothing. As the next Dragon spawns, you can see I'm 404 and level 16, and I haven't even done anything this game apart from pushing waves pretty much. You really should spend like 80% of the game farming. Anyway, in teamfights, Cho is extremely simple to play. You always play front to back and assassinate first target with your ult. It might be tempting to try and flash on the back line, but utilizing your Q and ult to instantly make any fight a 4v5 is almost always more useful. We make one pick with my ult into getting free Dragon, into moving topside and getting another pick, into getting free Baron. It looks easy because I'm so strong, but I hope you can see that getting this strong is actually very consistent once you have the game plan flowchart clear in your mind. From here, it's back to pushing waves, and you have to be aware. The enemy team only has 2 options here. Collapse on me with multiple people, to kill me while isolated and stagger our Baron. Or force on our main group and try to win a quick skirmish before I arrive. They go for the latter, but I'm instantly ready for it with the teleport. We win an honest fight, and that's GG. I hope this commentary was helpful. I know people enjoy tanks, but often struggle to actually carry games with them. Obviously, some of my teammates did good as well, and it wasn't a complete 1v9. But if I'd been losing lane to Sylas, this game could have been instantly swung around, especially after the enemy team got Nash. Thank you all for watching, much love as always, and comment for what champ you want to see next. Peace.